oh, maybe I backslid. I need to go back and ask for forgiveness from the divine, and then I'll be loved, and everything will be fine again. So they go back to stage one and suddenly become really fanatically religious again, which still doesn't really solve their issues at all, but at least this time they don't have to think about it anymore, basically, because now they just, oh, I put it all at the cross. I put it all at the cross and it's all sorted out. And I don't want to, I'm not trying to diminish any of that, except it's not going to get you what you want. It's not going to get you the life that you're meant for. You may learn to just settle for less, and that's fine. And that's why I call stage one the blissfully ignorant. It's really difficult to go from stage two to stage one, because once you've seen, how do you unsee? But anyway, but the thing about stage two again is that, as I say, it's quite painful. It can be a really painful place to be, and that's why you come here. And you will definitely, almost definitely be that person who has tried all kinds of different things. You have studied and researched and read and been taught all the principles, and you know the universal laws, and you've prayed and you've learned prayer and everything, and yet you haven't managed to make it work for you. And life still feels quite tough. In fact, the knowing that life isn't supposed to be this way makes it worse. Now that you know that it's not supposed to be this way and you can't seem to make it any other way, it feels worse. And then there's a lot of digging around inside of you, and there's this feeling that you're not good enough and blah, blah, blah. But as I say, being here, the point, or one of the points of being here, is to take that person who recognizes who you are. But it doesn't happen just like that. It happens with practice. It happens with time. And I like to start this so that you're here in this abundance, or in the Deliberate Millionaire Gathering. Do not come here with this, because you've already done all the, let me try this and try that and try the other and try this for a little bit and try that for a little bit. You've told yourself, oh, nothing seems to work for me and blah, blah, blah. But there's been that hope inside of you that somehow you will master this. And you will, if you stop jumping around and chasing every single shiny object out there. There's no mistake about you being here. No mistake at all. You've asked for support and you finally said yes to it. But it's an ongoing yes. You have to keep saying yes, even on the days when you really don't feel like doing anything. Sometimes the path to creating the life that you want, the things you have to do on a daily basis are fairly straightforward and somewhat boring. Some of us get, particularly in stage two and stage one, we're quite addicted to drama. I was quite addicted to drama. I can still sometimes find myself addicted to drama if I don't watch it. You're addicted to drama. You don't realize you're addicted to drama, but you're addicted to the sad stories, and you're addicted to the always struggling. You think that you do not always want to struggle, but your behaviors, when you start to look at them objectively, you'll realize that some of your behaviors have ultimately led to your own suffering. As we come into stage three, you start to learn what those behaviors are. One of them is definitely the search for instant gratification, which it looks like, because in spiritual terms, it can people say, no, I want a quantum leap, or it can look like I'm looking for a miracle, or I'm expecting miracles, or see manifestation as some kind of magical something that you just press a few buttons and voila, everything should work. And if it doesn't work quite so quickly, then it's on to the next strategy. Oh, if that doesn't work, oh, let's go on to the next strategy. Oh, let's go on to that. Oh, look at that exciting thing over there. Oh, it must be because I'm not doing this. Oh, it must be because I'm not doing that. And all the while, ultimately, you're jumping here, jumping there, jumping there, jumping the other, and not really staying with anything long enough for it to work. The chances are most of the things that you have tried and read would have worked if you'd stayed doing them for long enough for them to work. But you start to convince yourself that, oh no, it should have worked by now. If it hasn't worked by now, the sensible thing for me to do is try something different. Or the sensible thing for me to do right now is to try something different. And it sounds so sensible, except you come past decades, and for some of y'all, decades of your life where you've been doing this. And you either wanted to start a business, maybe because you felt called to actually support people, but it hasn't really taken off. And now you're kind of scared because, of course, the longer you stay on the physical planet, the physical reality as well, and the more mistakes you make, unfortunately, the more your doubt grows. So you start to doubt yourself more and more and more. And you start to feel more and more unsafe. And you might have taken big leaps at one point, but then you start to wonder if you made a stupid mistake, which you didn't. It's just that you didn't follow it all the way through. Ultimately, you didn't realize you were not doing this, but you're here now. Okay, you're here now. You can make, everyone can make that transition from stage 2 to stage 3, from being the painfully awakened to being the practical mystic. But it does take time. So I always like to start this whole onboarding process with saying to you, honey, it's going to be a consistent practice that you surrender to in some ways. Okay. And the people, when I speak to people on the phone and I'm talking about these things, because the people, as we know, we all get super excited at the beginning of something, and then and then we lose the enthusiasm when the everyday life kind of kicks in and you have to keep doing things every day, or life is happening around you and it's pulling you here, there, and everywhere. Your children, your job, your this, yeah, oh my goodness. And so it's like I have people saying to me numerous times, I'm so good at starting, but I just can't seem to stay consistent with anything. And hence also that adds to the let's jump here, let's jump there, let's try this, let's try the other, let's try the other. And all of that together just ends up with nothing working. And when I listen to this, I understand how hard it can be sometimes to be consistent with anything and to carry on until you see the other side of it. And yet you are the authority in your life, as I will tell you over and over again. You are the authority in your life. You can right now, even as you listen to me, make a decision inside of you that I'm done. I'm done. It's like when I work with people privately, usually they've got to that point where it's just like, I've tried chasing everything. This time I have to stay in place until it works. And you kind of have to come to that quiet declaration inside of you. Because yeah, there's all kinds of things could work for you, but you're here now. This could be one of the many 20 million things you've tried and jumped around and jumped to the next thing. It is your choice. Or you can right now make a decision within yourself that I'm done chasing fantasies, really. I am committed to this process. And I like to say to even when my private clients, I'm saying to them, listen, you need to work with me for at least a year. And whenever I say a year, people are like, oh my God, a year? I don't have a year. I have to do this. It needs to work now. I've been doing this long enough now that people that said that 5 to 10 years ago, because I've been doing this for more than 10 years, and who did not commit are coming to speak to me now, wishing that they had just committed then. Do not be that person. Enough time has already been wasted. And it's not all a waste, because I like to believe that everything can be redeemed, okay? But still there is a choice on your part to decide. There's simple things, like I'm going to talk you through some simple things here in this onboarding process with the 14-day prosperity reset. But then after the 14 days, if you go back to living exactly the same as you did before you did the 14 days, yes, you're going to have some kind of tangible breakthrough in this 14 days. Or maybe for some of y'all, it might be 30, because everybody's starting from a different place. So some of you might need to go on to 30. Some of you in 7 days that you'll see some kind of difference. But whichever way, if you do up to 30 days of what I teach you right now to do, and then you go back to living exactly the same as you did to now, why do you think anything is going to change? It won't. You will continue to get the same results. This is a lifestyle. When I call it the deliberate millionaire lifestyle, it is actually a lifestyle. Nothing I'm asking you to do is going to take that long, but it is going to take about half an hour a day. Just doing certain things, which I will talk you through. For the 14 days, I just want you to focus on the 14 days, the 7 steps that I give you for the 14 days. Do them. And then as you come to the end of the 14 days, you will be told, or the end of the 30 days, if you decide to go on beyond 14 days, you will then be told how to carry on with abundance. So they're already in the group, you can see the videos and everything. There's very simple things to do. But I really want you, as you're coming on, if you're doing this 14-day thing, focus in on doing this 14-day thing. Right now, make a commitment to yourself that you will not keep doing the jumping around thing, because the chasing for shortcuts is the thing that is making your life take longer than it needs to be. And this is actually just the introduction. So, so let us carry on, okay? But this is it, okay? Make that commitment inside of yourself right now that you are actually committed for the long haul. Because you do know that you do know. Anyway, even as you listen to me teach this stuff, you will know that if I do this, I will see change. And you will see transformation. But it won't always be some kind of miraculous something, although I do expect you to have some kind of tangible breakthrough, as in either in your money, you suddenly get some unexpected income coming in within the next 14 to 30 days, or your relationships or your health, something will happen. So I want you to watch out for that, okay? And I'll tell you exactly how you do that. But again, if you then have that and then go back to living, and as I've seen so many people do, and then it just becomes one of those things that I've tried everything and nothing ever works for me. It's a lie. When people say that, I know it's a lie because you're still alive and you are still probably not trying the thing that you were trying even 3 weeks ago. And it's, in fact, it's that trying attitude that immediately says it's probably not going to work for you. If you come here thinking, I'm just going to try this for a bit and see. No. There's a certain certainty. You know that you are powerful. You know it. You know you're meant for something more. Okay, you know it, and I also know that there's doubt inside of you. And unfortunately, the longer you've been on this planet, the more you've had, the more opportunities you've had to be told that you are somehow not enough. It's time for you to start owning who you really are. But anyway, starting with this, okay? We're going to start breaking some old patterns. You're going to reconnect more deeply with the divine. And as I said, you're going to have some kind of tangible breakthrough, and I want you to watch out for it. Okay, this is an example of someone who did this and some of their results. You can say hello, people coming on, because I can see you all. This is just an example of somebody who did do this reset. By day 5, they had some kind of unexpected offer of £5,000. Now, again, I don't share these because I want you all to be like, oh, it's all going to be exciting and it's all going to happen in 3 seconds. Yes, I do expect you to have a tangible breakthrough. And I do want you to be enthusiastic about doing this because, yes, coming to something with a certain amount of enthusiasm will definitely help you. However, again, I cannot emphasize this enough. If you just do this 14-day reset and go back to living your life the way you used to, you won't keep the momentum. Okay, this is just an example. Again, that one is usually too small for people to read, so I copied it all out and put it on there ultimately. So that's just things that people did. It when I started this, it was a 7-day thing, and this was an experience that she had over the 7 days, or the experiences she had over the 7 days. These are the tangible breakthroughs that she had, and I do expect you guys to have some kind of something, as I said, because what is happening is that you're shifting your foundations. It's almost like that you've created a lot of blockages inside of your, call it a channel. Imagine there's a channel going through you, okay? And love energy needs to flow freely through that channel in order for you to create the life that you want, okay? And as you stay in the Deliberate Millionaire, you listen to the trainings that I do, all of this start to make sense to you. So what we're doing in this reset is shaking out the rubbish and the nonsense that are blocking the channel. Okay, we're starting that process. So you do have some kind of tangible breakthrough because suddenly love energy is able to flow a bit more freely through you. So something does tend to happen. Okay. So watch out for that. Absolutely. Now, let us carry on here. Please be very present as you're listening to this. Be very present, whether you're listening to this as a recording or you're listening to this with me right now live. Please be very present and have your notebook to hand, not only because of what I'm saying, but because the divine will be seeking to communicate to you. And I want you to notice and write down whatever impressions or anything comes up for you, put it in your journal. Feel free as well, as I said earlier, to use the chat box to ask any questions or tell me go back or whatever, or just to say, oh my God, I feel so, whatever. Yeah, feel free to put that in there as well. I want to hear from you guys too. Okay, so ultimately you are here because you are someone who knows you're destined for greatness. It's not necessarily something you say out loud, I know, and yet there's a feeling inside of you that you are destined for greatness, okay? We as Deliberate Millionaires, we own that. I want you to own that. Stop hiding who you really, truly are. You are destined for greatness. It isn't just some deluded idea that you have. It is the truth of you, okay? Own it. You may feel a bit stuck right now. You may be wondering what is getting in your way. You may be wondering when it's going to be your turn. You're trying to be grateful, but it can be a struggle at times because you know you're meant for more. You can't seem to get there. As long as you are ready for change and you're open to doing very simple things consistently. Remember, we have phones and we have Alexas. We can set reminders. I send emails reminding you of things. As long as you are willing, you can be consistent. Because as I was saying earlier, people tell me, oh, I find it, I struggle to be consistent. It's not true. because for so a lot of you, you're consistently going to a job you do not like for God knows how many years. You've been consistently showing up in a life you haven't loved for who knows how long, but you've been consistently doing certain things consistently. But some things you convince yourself I have to do, and some things you think are optional. And usually it's the things that will actually make the difference in your life. So understand you are the authority in your life. So do not give yourself that thought, oh, I just always start so well and I never keep it going. Don't allow that in your brain anymore. You are the one with all the choices. So if you want to be consistent, you can be consistent. I will do my best to support you, but you can be consistent. You can. Okay. So anyway, I am Rosemary Knight, just in case you don't know. A weird blend of African and English. I used to be quite passive myself. I used to also be that person that started well and never really finished anything, ultimately. And I used to blame the world or blame my childhood or whatever. And yes, it's not as if there isn't stuff happening in the physical reality. And not as if our childhoods have all been perfect. Yeah, we could continue to use that as our reasons not to succeed, or we can start to realize that it doesn't matter. Actually, it doesn't matter what's happening in the physical reality. It doesn't matter what happened in our childhoods in some ways. It does matter, however, what we choose now. I finally had to come to that place after going bankrupt, after 4 years of depression. I had my 3 amazing daughters, realized I really did not want to teach them that they were victims of life. And I really also didn't want to put them in childcare all the time. So I needed to find a different way. And I was at the bottom anyway. Yes, I was a pharmacist. So it's not as if I was, it's not as if I hadn't trained and I hadn't worked hard and all of that. I was a professional. I was making more money than I had. And somehow I still went bankrupt, okay? Because I was giving, because I was blessed to be a blessing, don't you know? So until I went bankrupt, I suddenly realized maybe I really need to rethink this way or this approach to life ultimately, because it doesn't seem to be working so well for me. I have ticked all the boxes and dotted all my I's and crossed all my T's. I've followed all the rules of what creates success, and I don't feel very successful, actually. So anyway, I did. I went bankrupt. I woke up the next morning. I was 7 months pregnant with my first daughter. I woke up the next morning and realized I was dead inside. This was the beginning of 4 years of depression. So I call it the blank, because literally it was as if my emotions just switched off. Ultimately, I just felt dead inside. And with hindsight, I could see that it was mostly because I felt like such a failure. Bankruptcy was not supposed to happen to me. I was supposed to be a high flyer. I was supposed to be changing things. I was meant for greatness, don't you know? Basically. And so I felt really horrible. And for 4 years anyway, there was just this numbness inside of me. And as I said, I call it the blank. But in that time, thankfully, I did give birth to my 3 children, which was amazing. They were the highlight of my life, plus my husband. Both of my husband didn't actually completely know the depths of despair that I was going through, truth be told, basically because I was very good at slapping a smile on it and pretending everything was fine, ultimately. But anyway, it was 4 years later, having given birth to my 3 children. It was about Christmas, the 4 years after I'd gone bankrupt, that I was having a phone call with a family member, an extended family member, who was asking me for money for another family member. And and I didn't have money to give them, but I hadn't told them that I'd gone bankrupt. So I didn't want to tell them about it. To them, I was a pharmacist and I had a house. So what's my issue, basically? And but I didn't want to say. I was just saying, no, I'm not going to do it. And I had this person shouting at me, and I suddenly thought to myself, this is not meant to be my life. This is not meant to be my life. And please bear in mind here that I've been spiritual or religious or whatever. I've known the divine. I can't remember a time I didn't know the divine, ultimately, because there was all stuff that happened in my childhood as well that led me to knowing the divine, okay? So I've known the divine forever. But this is it. The divine isn't going to rescue you at all. The divine will support you when you ask. But the divine isn't coming in to save the day, okay? And the divine will love you whether you choose to live in your purpose or not. So I was loved completely, even though I was choosing to ignore the fact that I knew I was meant for something more. Even though I knew that the pharmacist was, yes, it was great to be a pharmacist enough. It was great enough, although actually, no, it wasn't that great. I didn't like it. But I was like regular people, I just thought, well, it's what you have to do, isn't it? You're an adult now. You just do whatever you have to do. And the divine will go along with you with that. If that's what you choose to think, then okay, fine, let's do it. Or let's not. So, and I say that because sometimes, again, spiritual people are waiting to be rescued. Nobody's coming. we have to fully decide that actually I am ready to live the life I am meant for. So I wouldn't say that I immediately decided that, but at least I definitely decided that I was done with people yelling on the phone at me about money. I was done with telling myself that I had to stay in a job I did not want to do. I was done with telling myself that I had to put my children in childcare when I really didn't want to. As soon as I got pregnant with my first daughter, I knew I wanted to home educate, and in fact, I was determined to do so. So I had to find a different way. So yes, this person was yelling at me in the moment I was having an epiphany. Rosemary, if anything's going to change, it's up to you, basically. So then I started looking at what I can do from home. And then I went into property because property seemed reasonable. It wasn't quite what I wanted to do, but at least it was reasonable. So it was a bit of a sideways step from pharmacy. But I did, what was it? I went to networking events and all of this to try and figure out what I was supposed to do with this property thing. And they were telling me about how there's this no money down strategies. If you do this no money down strategy, you can be a millionaire. And I thought, well, I have no money to put down. So let's learn these strategies. But guess what? In order to learn those strategies, I did have to pay out about 10,000, and I had to kind of scrape it together somehow and borrow it and this and that and the other. But there was a difference in me because for ages I'd been passive, just kind of allowing whatever happened in life. And my parents told me what I had to be and blah, 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 blah. Until and this time I woke up and I realized that if I pay out this money to learn these strategies, they had to work because I had dabbled at business beforehand. But as soon as things got difficult, I tell myself, well, at least I'm a pharmacist. I don't need to do this, do I really? Whatever. And I go back to being a pharmacist, even though I hated it. But this time, it was like I had these 3 children. I wanted to home educate them. I was committed. And even giving that money to somebody to teach me this stuff, it was almost like I was taking money from my children's mouths. And there was this determination inside of me that said, you know what? I am freaking getting that money back. Whatever this person tells me to do, I am going to freaking do it, basically. And so I learned how to promote my business. And in that year, it kind of became, it was the hardest year of my life. I'm not going to lie. It was the hardest year of my life. I cried and cried and cried and cried and cried because I was being challenged to do things that I hadn't learned to do as an employee. I really hadn't. Okay. But anyway, I got to the end of that year of doing this mastermind program with this dude. I did win Businesswoman of the Year, basically. And then I won a Porsche Boxster, which was pretty dang amazing for my husband, more than for me. For me, it was more the fact that I'd stuck with this thing. That's what really made a difference to me. It was this recognition that when I really commit to doing something, I can change anything. And I really want you to understand that too, because we all have this power. When we focus on what we want, in some ways to the exclusion of every other thing, it is inevitable that you will succeed. And that is what I had done. I stopped listening to all the noise and the whining and the whatever groaning I was coming up with, and stopped giving myself excuses and reasons why I couldn't do it and blah, 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 blah. And I just focused. And I did win this Porsche Boxster. Within 6 months from that, I was able to leave pharmacy altogether and actually properly start home educating my children. And well, I was already kind of doing it anyway, so it was a very busy life. Let's put it that way. Basically, a very, very busy life. But I did win this Porsche Boxster. And it really did make an impact on me because I'd gone bankrupt and everything. As I said, I did feel like such a failure. So to see myself starting to change things again, it was like I reminded myself of who I could be if I allowed myself to be. And all the while, yes, the divine was supporting me because I was asking for support rather than just whining about my life. Okay. So anyway, and within 6 months, as I said, I did manage to leave pharmacy altogether. And yes, again, remember this whole process, as I've explained it in I don't know how many minutes, but it did take 18 months. But then that wasn't the end of the story, okay? Because I still had to then move from this sideways step into something that I thought was safe into actually building a life I wanted. And it was at that point that a coach said to me, you don't actually seem enthused by this thing that you're building, which I was not, but it seemed practical. And it was making some money, I guess. And but he was like, what would you rather do? And then I said, I'd rather be a coach, actually, because I'd been looking at that. Well, I thought I was just going to do stuff in church or something. But then it was like, actually, because I started working with coaches and I realized that's what I want to do, but from a spiritual perspective. But I didn't have the courage to talk about my spirituality and all of that. So he just said, anyway, start coaching, because I thought I had to wait until I was at least 72, then I'd have enough experience, and then I'd be able to coach other people. And it's just like, oh, just get on with it. So I did start by telling people what I'd done in property. So I became a boring business coach because I thought again that was safe. But then again and again, I kept pivoting and adding on what I really wanted to share until I'm here, ultimately. But it was a journey, and it did take courage, as it will do with you. But it is absolutely possible. And if I can help you escape some of the in-between, the unnecessary long scenic route that I took, then that will be good for you. Now, I know not everybody's into business or anything like that, but there's something that you are holding yourself back from for whatever reason. And it may seem like a very legitimate reason, but you're here now. You're here now, and you can get the support to move yourself forward if you ask for it. If you ask for it. Because especially if you're here in abundance, then you need to ask for it. There's all you see when you come into the group, there's the check-ins, there's the I'm there every day. If you ask for support, I will support you. The divine will support you, because what I'm doing is asking the divine for what does he want to say to you guys, and then deliver it to you in a very strategically practical way. But you have to ask, okay? Because this is the thing, guys. Life is actually supposed to be simple. Life is supposed to be easy. Prosperity in all areas of your life is your divine right. And you know it, but you forget. You forget, and the pain, the limiting beliefs of the past cause you to create unnecessary difficulties for yourselves. And you think you have no choice because you're stuck in this way of looking at things. You don't realize sometimes that actually there's a different way to think. You don't have to keep thinking in the same way, okay? But this is it. You are the one with all the choices. So you can rise victorious, but you have to choose to. You have to choose to. Now, please don't go all human on me during this experiment during this 14 days or beyond. I have already told you some of the ways that you can do that, but I'll say it very specifically again. When I say don't go all human on me, remember we're divine beings having a human experience. And so sometimes we're way too human or physical reality focused that we forget that there's a divinity in us as well. So please don't add anything to what I'm teaching you to do here. For this 14 days particularly, and even when you come and join, or when you carry on with just the abundance daily ritual, don't add anything to it until you have made it into such a habit that it's okay if you tweak it a little bit. But to begin with, you just need to make it a habit, okay? So don't add anything to it. If what you knew to do had been working for you, you wouldn't be here. So sometimes there's this thing in spiritual people that says, oh, I'm not supposed to learn from anybody else. I'm supposed to know it all myself. And, I shouldn't depend on anyone else. That holds them back sometimes. I'm not saying that you should be dependent on me or this system forever. But I am saying that for a period of time, sometimes you need the support. So don't let your pride take you away from getting the support you need. So don't add anything to this. Stop jumping around. Stop jumping around. Yeah, there's adverts and everything all around telling you this, and it will always seem like the sensible choice. Stop jumping around, my loves. Be consistent with something long enough for it to work. If you're here and you are here, be here for the long haul. Stop with all the instant gratification stuff. Whatever shortcut you think you're taking is probably making everything take a heck of a lot longer than it needs to for you. So that's what I mean when I say don't go all human on me. This is another example of someone who did this, and some of their results here is this person shouting, miracles are real. But she got some refunds from insurance company, which that was her tangible breakthrough during the 7 days. That's what she started. It was just a 7-day thing. Okay. Again, yes, you're going to get those tangible breakthroughs, but do not think that you can then go back to living life the same way you used to. Now let's talk about the 5 foundational deliberate millionaire beliefs, because you're here now. You are a deliberate millionaire now. Number 1, you are the authority in your life. You are the authority in your life. As I said earlier, the divine isn't going to force you to do anything. I used to always try and put, oh no, we have to depend on the divine first, because I was brought up religious. There was this feeling that we are supposed to just lean onto the divine and wait for him to rescue the day. No, you're too powerful for that. The divine created you powerful. You are the authority in your life. What you decide is what happens in your life. Nothing can exist in your future without your say-so. What you need to do is get aware of how you are saying so. Okay, because you can hear that statement and think, no, things just happen to me. Things just happen to me. I don't have complete control over it. You do. You've just kind of stifled your focus so much that you now think that the physical reality somehow has some kind of power over you. It does not. You are always creating it, which is number 5 as well, actually. But number 1, anyways, you are the authority in your life. You are the authority in your life. Okay. Number 2, you are one with the divine. You are powerful, you are limitless, and you are never alone. Powerful, limitless, never alone. You are powerful, you are limitless, you are never alone. The same power that created all things lives in you. Again, what you're trying to learn to do to move from stage 2 to stage 3 is how to use that power to create the life that you're meant for, and also to recognize you are not alone in this. The divine will support you if you ask. If you ask. The divine is ever there. You are never alone. There's nowhere that you can go that the divine is not. The divine doesn't end here and then start again after your body ends. There's nowhere to go that the divine is not. You are never alone. So you don't even need to be so afraid. And this other side, try, please, depending on how you were brought up, because I was brought up religious, sometimes when people said that, it was scary, because it was always like, oh, the divine is always watching me to see when I'm getting something wrong, and he's always watching to judge me and to send me to hell, or to send down a lightning bolt to or something. So the fact that the divine was everywhere was actually more scary than helpful. But that is not what I'm saying now, okay? You are loved completely. Loved completely. When you truly fully get this, you'll be less afraid. Less afraid to try things. You will live more freely, because there's nothing to be afraid of. You are powerful. You are one with the divine. You are powerful. You are limitless. You are never alone. You are always guided and supported, and you have access to the same power that creates all that you touch, feel, and everything in the physical reality. You just need to learn how to use that power. You have the ability to turn energy into matter. You just have forgotten how to do it. And part of being in the Deliberate Millionaire is learning how to do that again. Okay? Okay? So that's number 2. Number 3, your purpose here on planet Earth is actually to enjoy your life here on planet Earth. It is not to prepare for some next life where you get judged as to whether you should go to hell or go to heaven or any of that stuff. It's not about that at all. It's not about, I don't know, it's not about, you're here to enjoy being here. When you get there, you'll enjoy being there. Your purpose here is to enjoy being here. So anything that can add to your enjoyment, you can have. Okay. So the question you always want to answer is, what do I desire? What do I want? What do I want? And instead of fighting yourself over, oh, well, that's too much, that's too greedy, maybe I shouldn't want material things, and blah, blah, blah. Understand, you are here on planet Earth to enjoy being here on planet Earth. And here on planet Earth, money helps. Here on planet Earth, having a nice house helps. Here on planet Earth, having a nice car helps. Some of these things will be more important to you than other things. It doesn't matter. All of these things are just things that you can create if you choose to. We put all kinds of value judgments on these things, and oh, I shouldn't want that, and I should want this. If I'm spiritual, I shouldn't want that. That's just man-made nonsense. If you want something, you're allowed to have it as long as you're willing to create it. That's the only limitation, is whether you choose to create it or not. You are here on planet Earth. That's your purpose. People looking for their life's purpose everywhere. Your purpose is to enjoy being here on planet Earth. So what do you want? What would enhance your enjoyment of life? Allow yourself to create it. Stop fighting yourself and telling yourself you shouldn't want this, that, or the other. What would enhance your life? And allow yourself to have it, the relationships you want, the material stuff you want, the internal peace you want. All of it is stuff that you can create. Okay? Number 4, you can leave behind the pain and limiting beliefs of the past and rise victorious in your true design. You can leave behind the pain and limiting beliefs of the past and rise victorious in your true design. You have the power, actually, to almost sometimes you can. Most of us are not able to, because we're quite attached to the drama of it all. But you don't have to go through deep digging and trying to figure everything out. Sometimes you may feel like you need to go through that journey, and there's nothing wrong with that. But also know that the option is available also to just decide, enough. Me and the divine are enough. I'm not pretending that for everybody it's that simple. It's no, I'm not, but I am wanting to plant in your subconscious mind there that it's an option. But in the meantime, whilst you haven't quite got to that place where you can just walk away from stuff, you can, however, understand that you can do some clearing work. Yeah, absolutely, you can, and free yourself from the stuff that have held you back. Absolutely, you can. It is not necessarily a prerequisite of creating the life that you want, but sometimes it helps. Absolutely. But ultimately, you have the power to leave behind the pain, the limiting beliefs of the past, and to rise victorious in your true design, your greatness. And finally, the fifth foundational belief is you create your own reality, which is where the practical stuff comes in. Yes, you're a divine being and all of that stuff, but you're also a human being, so you have to do some practical stuff. If you're going to enjoy being here in the physical reality, the action is going to include both the internal work and the external work. We have to do both, and it needs to be strategic, particularly in the physical world. There's some strategies that you need to put in place. So, if you're trying to build a nice relationship, there's some strategies to put in place to do that. If you're trying to build a business, there's a strategy to put in place to do that. If you're trying to get a new job, there's a strategy to put in place to do that. And you can learn those strategies, basically. You create your own reality. There will always be internal work and there will be external work. So those are the 5 foundational beliefs. They will be sent to you as a reminder anyway, so you'll get even more information on that, okay? Next, understand this. You are in a room with no walls. So imagine yourself in a room where you thought there were walls. In fact, you might even have created some walls very close to you and limited yourself within the confines of those walls. But starting this process is the process of pushing down those walls and realizing that you are limitless, that everything you desire. So just imagine on the ground that you're standing on is some of the stuff that you've allowed into your life right now. It's within the walls that you have set up for yourself. As we do this work, you will learn to start pushing those walls, pushing them further away from you so you have a bit more room and you're not so restricted. And you'll realize that as you push the walls out, that more things are available to come into the space that you've now created for them. At some point, you'll also realize that if you just push the freaking walls down completely, that actually everything you could potentially even think about wanting is available to you. You just needed to walk there. And you just need to walk over there. It's just that you were so within these walls that you didn't realize that actually all the stuff was available. You are in a room with no walls. You just created these walls of your own. And part of this process is to allow yourself freedom, to take yourself away from restriction, to experience fulfillment as you become all that you were always meant to be. As you remember who you are, one with the divine, powerful, limitless. I am, you are. You are, I am. I am, you are. You are, I am. You're saying that to the divine, and the divine is saying it back to you. I am, you are, I am. And if you really get an understanding for this, you'll start to live a heck of a lot bigger life. This reset ultimately is about shaking your fierce grip on reality as you know it, so that you can allow a more expanded reality. And abundance helps you keep expanding that capacity for prosperity. And there's just simple things to do. And we're going to start changing your underlying paradigm of life, where you might have thought life was hostile to you and you always had to fight for everything and the divine is judging you, or you can't afford to make any mistakes, or that you're bad, or you're not good enough, or if you trust yourself, you're going to mess things up, or one wrong move is going to ruin everything, or you're always running out of time. These are beliefs that people run their lives on. And actually, they're just beliefs. They're not the truth of life. Money isn't hard to come by. Actually, money is endlessly available and easily attainable when you believe that it is and allow yourself to create it. Okay? But if you believe that money is really hard to get, you will be experiencing a life where money is very hard to get. But again, that's just the underlying paradigm that you've gotten used to, that this will start the process of shaking you free of that particular paradigm. Your words will start to change, okay? You'll have to very deliberately start to think about what you're thinking about and what you're saying. Absolutely, because again, it's not just that it will just happen, is that you will, and sometimes it will in some ways. In some ways, it will just happen, and in other ways, you will be very deliberate about making sure that it just happens. Okay. And there's kind of a weird blend of ease and discipline working together until it's actually quite easy to just do what you know you're supposed to be doing ultimately. And you'll look back at your life and realize, oh, I don't really whine and moan like I used to, or use my words in the way that I used to, because things have changed inside of you. You don't even feel the need to. Okay. And so even that person that you were will be like, oh, I used to be like that, didn't I? I wonder why, ultimately. And your frequency, like how you normally feel, will change overall. Okay. Not because you're forcing yourself to always feel high vibe, but because, again, you're opening things up inside of you. But it's by consistent application of the work. Okay. Consistent application of the very simple work. Okay. Little by little. Okay. So let's actually now start talking about the 7 things that you're going to be doing over these 14 days. Let me share the screen with you here. Okay. So now this is where you need to get your notebook out, and I want you to write this stuff down. This is number 1 action. Okay. There's 7 actions. This is first action. Okay. Write this down. I easily accept new prosperity thoughts, and I'm willing to increase my income now. Please write that down. I easily accept new prosperity thoughts, and I am willing to increase my income now. And when you've written it down, please type done in the chat box, okay? Please type done in the chat box. I'll give you a minute, and if I don't get it done anyway, I'll just carry on. But I want you to write that down. I'll give you 30 seconds. I don't think you need a whole minute to write that down, but I easily accept new prosperity thoughts, and I am willing to increase my income now. So any dones, tell me when you're done. Tell me when you're done. That would be great to know if you're able to, because I think some of you all dialed in, so you may not actually be able to see the chat box. But if you are able to see the chat box, tell me if you've done. If you're done, tell me, or I'll just carry on. Hey, thank you, Veronica. I easily accept new prosperity thoughts, and I'm willing to increase my income now. Okay, and we're going to write that 25 times. So we're going to start either tonight or tomorrow morning, depending on when are you a night owl or you're an early bird? Make a decision now. Are you a night owl or an early bird? Would you prefer to do things just before you go to bed in preparation for the next day? Or would you prefer to wake up about 20 to 30 minutes earlier than you would normally do so that you have time to do it first thing in the morning? Which one are you committing to? Make a commitment now. Where are you going to fit it in? If you work shifts and you're not sure that you're going to be on the same shift for the blah, 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 then in which case, look at your rota and decide, I'm going to do it in this time and do it in this time. Remember, we have lots of tools like our phones, our Alexas, our who knows what, that can help us set reminders. Make a commitment that this will be done. So decide now. But that was the first action. I easily accept new prosperity thoughts, and I'm willing to increase my income now. You will write it down 25 times. Okay, from day 1 to day 4. Day 1 to day 4. Please do not change the words. Do not add to it. Do not take away from it. Just use the words exactly as they're there. Day 1 to 4. Okay, a reminder will come out to you as well, but I do want you to write it down whilst we're here. Okay, not writing the whole 25, just write it down the ones. Okay, so that's one action. The second step or second action is this is a new another affirmation which we will use. Please write this down. I accept prosperity as my divine right. Again, when you're done, please tell me done in the comments or in the chat. I accept prosperity as my divine right. A shorter one this time. Tell me when you're done. Tell me when you're done. I accept prosperity as my divine right. I accept prosperity as my divine right. Thank you, JP. Excellent. Okay. Next, so that will be day 5 to 14. Day 5 to 14. Okay, so the first one was day 1 to 4. You'll do that 25 times. This time you'll write this 25 times as well from day 5 to 14. Okay, excellent. Okay, so that's the second action. Now, this was again somebody else who did this. They received 300 quid. When I did it the first time as well, I did receive 1,800 in the first 4 days, 600 and 1,200 from a tax rebate. And then I found, or my daughter found £300 in the house. I have no idea where. Now, I do expect, as I said, to you to have some kind of tangible breakthrough, but please, 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 please do not assume, therefore, that you can then go back to living life the way you used to, because you will continue then. You'll have a nice peak, and then you'll go back to the way life was. This is a lifestyle. It's not just a, let me look for one magical miracle, and then, oh, my life is going to change. It will not. Okay, so that was that one. Now, number 3 action, if you write these words down: free, fulfilled, abundant love. Free, fulfilled, abundant love. Free, fulfilled, abundant love. And 2 bonus words: wealth, success. Wealth, success. I used to chant it: free, fulfilled, abundant love. Free, fulfilled, abundant wealth, love. Wealth, success. Wealth, success. Free, fulfilled, abundant love. Free, fulfilled, abundant love. Wealth, success. Wealth, success. So, okay, what I want you to do is actually say those words under your breath as many times as you possibly can during the day. As many times as you possibly can during the day. Why? Because the psychologists tell us, I have no idea how they measure this, that we have about 60,000 thoughts a day. And usually for most people, those thoughts are the same thoughts that they thought the day before, and the day before that, and the week before, and the year before. The same thoughts with a few changes, but for the most part, the same things. You're thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking. So your behaviors are coming out of those thoughts. What we are seeking to do here is replace those with very deliberately placed ideas. In this case, free, fulfilled, abundant love, wealth, and success. Okay? I don't want you to say, I am free, I am anything, because that will just make your subconscious mind say, no, you're not. No, you're not. What I do want you to do is just simply say the words as they are written, okay, with the bonus 2, wealth, success as well. Okay, so just say those words: free, fulfilled, abundant love. Free, fulfilled, abundant love. Wealth, success. Or wealth, success. Okay, you can do it that way or do it some other way. Go for nice affirmation walks. You can say your affirmation, you can say these, whatever, or whichever way. The idea is this: that we do not write our affirmations first thing in the morning or whatever 25 times and then spend the rest of the day thinking, oh, nothing ever works for me, and oh, look at the economy is horrible, and oh, that politician did this and that, the other. Oh my God, and my partner is being kind of crazy, and oh, okay. We can't cancel out what we're trying to do. So to the best of your abilities, no beating yourself over the head if you don't get it perfect, but keep coming back to remembering, you know what, I'm just going to say these words: free, fulfilled, abundant love. When you're driving to work, when you're going for a walk, just be saying it under your breath. When I did this the first time, my children really did think I was lying and losing it because I was mumbling around the house. Free, fulfilled, abundant love. Free, fulfilled, abundant love. Mommy, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Free, fulfilled, abundant love. Free, fulfilled. Okay. So just say it to yourself, particularly when you find your mind going off in crazy directions. Bring it back to free, fulfilled, abundant love. Don't question, don't hate on yourself or any of that stuff. Just come back to free, fulfilled, abundant love. Free, fulfilled, abundant love. That's it. Keep it simple. This is just something you're doing over the day. Okay. So it doesn't actually take a certain amount of time. You're replacing your current thinking. That's it, really. Okay. So numerous times a day, please say those words. This was another person, an example of them getting money from a website that wasn't even running anymore. So that can happen, that kind of a thing can happen. Number 4, in the group, which you should be a member of, okay, in the group, there will be a picture that comes up Monday to Friday. This picture always comes up. It's always this picture with Spirit Speaks on it. Now look at the caption on this, around this picture. And I want you to go to number 4 in the caption. The caption will be for the Deliberate Millionaires Daily Ritual. But number 4, I don't want you to pay attention to 1, 2, 3, or 5, 6, 7, 8, or whatever. I just want you to pay attention to number 4. Number 4 is where I sit with the divine every single day and ask, what are you saying to the community? And I download a message, I type it up, and I put it as number 4 under this picture. I want you to read that. It'll take you less than 2 minutes. And then sit down with the divine with your journal. Having written down your affirmations, then sit down with the read the divine download, sit down with your journal for about 5 minutes, unless you feel really inspired. You can go beyond that and just simply ask, how is this relevant to me specifically? And just see what bubbles up inside of you. Notice what words come through you. Notice what pictures or impressions you get. Don't be all tense and thinking, oh, I'm going to hear a voice, audible voice from the heavens or something like that. It's unlikely. It can happen, but it's unlikely. What you just want to hear is what comes up inside of you. Keep it simple. Keep it gentle. Keep it easy. Keep it relaxed. What would you like to say to me about this? How is this relevant to me? And then write down whatever. You can come and share it in group if you'd like to, or just have it as your private communication with the divine. Because the goal here, again, remember, is deepening that connection to the divine. So starting the conversation, let those divine downloads be like priming the pump so that you open up to hearing what the divine is saying to you. Okay? So please, number 4, on that picture. So look for that picture. It happens Monday to Friday. Look for that picture, read the divine download, which is number 4 on that list, and then just sit with the divine and say, hey, what are you saying to me? Okay, simple to do. It'll take you about 7 minutes max. Writing down the affirmations will maybe take you 15 minutes with the longest one. Okay, so that's 22 minutes so far. You can take longer if you want to, but really baseline 22 minutes. That's really all you need first thing in the morning. Okay, or last thing at night. So yeah, write down what you hear, you perceive, you feel. That's number 4. Number 5, no complaining. No complaining, particularly if you're hoping to have some kind of tangible money surprise or something. Do not then be complaining about your bank account and how much money you don't have and how you didn't get that raise and how the workplace is horrible and the government is horrible and the politicians are this and it's all, tightening my belt and, I have to budget this and blah, blah, blah. All the whining and moaning. Please get it under control now. For my a lot of my clients do find this to be one of the hardest ones. Because when you start paying attention to what you're saying, you may realize that a lot of what you say is complaining about something or someone, basically. And again, it's not now a signal for you to start judging yourself and saying, oh, you're horrible. No, it is simply to notice and decide free, fulfilled, abundant love, free, fulfilled, abundant love. If you're actually in the middle of a conversation, because sometimes we get into these circles where we're conversing with people and you realize that each of you are one-upping each other. Oh yeah, that happened to me. I know, man, that happened to me as well. And not only that, this happened. And then somebody else has to make it even worse. And you know what? Even that happened to me and more. No, let's just stop with those kind of conversations and actually choose to, as soon as you notice, either go quiet or leave the conversation. And yes, you will look slightly odd, particularly if people are used to you joining in and suddenly you're all like, I'm not joining in, then it might look odd, but that's fine. Nobody's worth your prosperity. Nothing is worth your prosperity. So please do whatever is necessary to not complain. Do whatever is necessary to not complain. I used to wear those Lumban things, and when my daughters used to wear into Lumbans, and then I'd snap them to remind myself, oh, don't complain. Do whatever you need to do to not complain. Again, please don't then start beating yourself up when you realize that you have been complaining. These are new habits that you're building. Give yourself grace, okay? But at the same time, also notice and decide, oh, I'm doing that again. Let's not do that. No complaining, my loves. No complaining. This is an example again of someone who did do this, and she got a yoga studio, as you can see there. And she had free, fulfilled, abundant love rolling off her tongue. Let it be rolling off yours as well, okay? Okay. And then number 6 is celebrating yourself. Celebrating each day. Or gratitudes, whatever you want to call it. But I like to celebrate ourselves. So come into group each evening. Well, you can do it. First, you can just start by writing your own celebrations or your own gratitudes in your own journal if you want to. And then come and share at least one of them with us. I do mine. I share 3 usually every evening. Most evenings at least. Even I have to show myself grace because sometimes I leave it until I'm so late I just want to go sleep. But to the best of my abilities, Monday to Friday, I mostly put mine in as well, and then send you out a reminder saying that mine are in group and come and put yours in. But if you live in Europe by any chance, the chances are that I will do it at some stupid o'clock like midnight or 1 o'clock. So if you're waiting for me to do it, then you will probably already be asleep. So don't wait for me. This is your commitment. This is your life. This is you changing your habits. Do not wait for anyone. These simple steps that I'm giving you here have the potential to really change things for you if you do them consistently. Do not wait for somebody else to tell you or show you or whatever. Come into group and bring your gratitudes, okay? So write them down yourself, and then you can share 1 or 2 with us if you want to. Share. I want to hear from you guys at least once a day. Come on. Come and share what came up out of the divine download. Come and do life with us. So most of y'all are surrounded by people who are not at the same wavelength as you. You need new relationships, and coming into group and taking part in the group will help along those lines, okay? So choose to come into group, bring your gratitudes, share them in group, okay? I will, as I said, send out reminders. I will send out a reminder every morning for the actual what you're supposed to do that day. So day 1 to 14, you'll get a reminder from me of the checklist of everything that's happening. So that's fine, with some training that comes with that. But you'll also get the reminder of the gratitudes in the evening as well. So watch out for your emails. If my emails are going to like your spam, whatever, or your promotions, whatever, you need to add me to your contacts so that it doesn't continue to do that. So you actually see the reminders as they come in. But yeah, this is action 6, is celebrate yourself. Some of y'all really do need to celebrate yourself. You are too easily looking for things that you're doing wrong. It's now time to start looking for things that you're doing right. And the other side of this is when I'm working with clients, what I notice about them, that even when they have manifestations, they do not notice until I point things out to them. Why? It's like when I was making more money and I could have left pharmacy, I didn't notice. It was my coach at that time that said to me, you're making enough that you could actually just leave pharmacy now. I was like, oh, I didn't even notice. And guess why I didn't notice? Because I was probably busy noticing all the things that I wasn't quite doing right. And I was busy noticing all the things that were going wrong. And that is exactly what clients do now. And we have to become people who notice the good. You have to become that person. And it's a very deliberate choice to appreciate what you want to appreciate, what you want to see appreciating, basically. So you want to see things expanding, you need to appreciate the little things that happen. But most people don't notice those little things. You notice all the bad things. It's like when I was a landlord, I still am a landlord, but when I was really actively landlording and I was managing like 60, God knows how many tenants, 65 tenants, and I would have one tenant not paying their rent, 64 tenants paying their rent. And I would only be worried about that one. I'd be sleepless nighting that one tenant. Oh my God, what is this going to do? Oh my God, what am I going to do? One freaking tenant. I forgot that I had 64 paying me well. But there was one, and I was all about that. And that is exactly what most of y'all do, and you don't realize it. And it almost feels as if, yeah, but it's true. This is happening. It's happening. Yeah, okay. But there's also some good stuff happening that you are not seeing. So until you very deliberately start looking for it, you may not notice it. So start looking for the good. We deliberate millionaires are those who see the good. We notice the good. We notice it. We're grateful for it. And we see it expand. So please, 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 that's number 6. Definitely look for the good to celebrate each day. Okay? You need to do it every single day. I do it Monday to Friday in group, but you need to do it every day. There's no reason for you not to do it on a Saturday or a Sunday or whatever. Okay? Okay. Next, and the final one is, used to say, just do it. But actually, I like to add this bonus one. If money is one of the things that you would really like to see expand in your life, then start loving on money. So get some actual notes, your country's currency, bring them to your nose, smell it, and affirm very strongly or very powerfully, can still do it quite quietly whilst powerful, I am at one with an awesome amount of money. I'm at one with an awesome amount of money. If you're alone at home, anyway, you can yell it. I'm at one with a heck of a lot of money, okay? And I want you to do that. And you need to learn to love money. You want an abundance of money, you better learn to love it. So lots of us have been told that we're not supposed to love money and we're not supposed to like it that much. I think anyone that money is kind of, why would I want to be with somebody that doesn't love me? Basically, so learn to love it, and also learn to understand that love and that money is ultimately just love energy materialized. Everything is love energy materialized, okay? And as you open up to more love flooding through you, as you get to know the divine and you allow yourself to be loved by the divine, money will become easier to you, and it just be a natural thing, unless you are convinced that money and spirituality are not supposed to mix together. Get rid of those kind of stupid ideas, okay? And allow yourself to love money, okay? Allow yourself to love money. So have some money, as I said, have it in your car, have it under your pillow, pull it up to your nose. So when you get used to the smell of it, you won't actually need to have actual cash in your hands. But to start with, I am at one with a heck of a lot of money. I am at one with a heck of a lot of money. You can do that instead of free, fulfilled, abundant love. So sometimes, during the day, so you can just mix and match it. So sometimes you're saying the words, sometimes you're spending money and saying you're at one with an awesome amount of money, okay? So those are the 7 steps, yes? Those are the 7 steps. Those are the 7 steps. Okay? They're simple to do. They're simple not to do. So my question to you is this. Will you do it? Will you do it? If you are going to do it, I want you to either make a written commitment right now in the chat, I will do it. Or come into group, introduce yourself, and then say, I will do it. In fact, preferably go into group and do that right now. Well, not right now, but make a commitment. Make a commitment, not to me, although by saying it out loud, hopefully it kind of stirs something inside of you that you refuse to then back down from. I will do it. 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 Okay. And as a result of that commitment that you make, the inner demons may come up. And please don't be the lone wolf and try and just disappear. You've tried to do the whole slapping smile on your face and pretend everything is okay thing. You are now a deliberate millionaire. You are a member of the Deliberate Millionaire Gathering. Take advantage, come in, share what's going on with you, and I will get divine guidance for you to help you move forward. You are not alone. You are not alone. Come and share what's going on. Come and share whatever persistent thoughts are blocking you or whatever. I will help you see things differently because I will get divine guidance and share it with you. And if you do not want to do it in group, that's an option, but you can also get yourself one of these wonderful sessions, which are only available during, if you're one of the, if you're particularly lucky, you probably already had one with me. If not, then it's only available during the 14 days. In fact, it's only available during the 14 days. This Make Your Life Work Better diagnostic consultation. You can have that, okay? And what we'll do is go through a series of questions, find out more about you, find out more about what you want to create, what's going on, what's getting in the way, what's keeping you stuck in the wrong life, all of that stuff. And then also you will leave with a clear idea of what you need to do next to start moving things forward. You will leave revived, you'll leave inspired, all of that stuff. And if necessary, I'll make the recommendation to work with me if necessary. But for most of you, just the session alone will shift things for you. And that's absolutely fine, okay? And it is $22.22, but only available during the 14 days. After that, it will just be the full price sessions, okay? So if you've never had one of these sessions with me, then this is your opportunity to get it for $22.22, but only during this 14-day period, okay? Only during this 14-day period. So take advantage of that. The reminders will be put in the emails when they come out to you. Okay, and so that's it. What you've learned here is enough for you to have that one, the first tangible breakthrough, two, to get you going and reset so that as you continue in abundance, life continues to open up and expand for you. Remember, this is not about just 14 days. This is not, oh yes, for some of y'all, if you do not have a tangible breakthrough in the first 14 days, please carry on with the second affirmation till day 30. Some of us start at it depends on what your childhood was like. It depends on what you've been through. You might be starting, it's like everybody might be starting here and you might be starting here. It doesn't make you bad. It just means that you had a different experience of life so far and there's more that you need to dig out of. And that's okay. You can absolutely dig out of it. Just give yourself a bit more time. Okay. So if you don't have some kind of tangible breakthrough that you look at your life and think this actually happened in this period, wait. We want to see your subconscious mind shift somewhat. And if you're not sure, come and ask in group, okay? But go on for 30 days. So use the second affirmation for 30 days. Everybody can have a tangible breakthrough if you be willing to be consistent for that period of time, okay? Okay. Okay, so what you've learned is enough. As I said, just do it. Keep it simple. Don't complicate anything. Get the support you need. And we're going to finish now by saying the love prayer together. Okay, let's share that with you and then we can say it together and bring this to a close. It's as always supposed to take 45 minutes. It always takes a bit longer, but hey, here we go. Hands on heart. Deep breath in and release. Deep breath in and release. There's only one power, and that power is your love divine. I am one with you. I am one with your love. I am powerful. I am limitless. And what I decree must come to pass. Your love dissolves all layers of doubt. Your love dissolves all layers of fear. Your love keeps me focused. Your love keeps me clear. Your love dissolves all layers of guilt. Your love dissolves all layers of shame. Your love keeps me focused. Your love keeps me in the game. Your love dissolves all layers of regret. Your love dissolves all layers of despair. Your love restores my hope, my peace, my joy. Your love restores my youth and my years. Your love dissolves all resentment and envy. Your love dissolves all hate and rage. Your love dissolves any bitter root within me. Your love rebuilds my self-trust and my faith. Your love flows freely through me right now, resolving, dissolving, evolving. Your love flows freely through me right now, harmonizing and adjusting. Your love flows freely through me right now, resolving, dissolving, evolving. Your love makes me magnetic to the desires of my heart. I feel your love propelling me forward into greater and greater financial prosperity right now. Money, wealth, riches are flooding into my life from everywhere and in great abundance, with ease and with speed. Yes, Thank you. Woohoo! Okay, my lovelies, and that brings us to the end of today's and the beginning of your 14 days and your membership of the Deliberate Millionaire Gathering. It's such a pleasure sharing this stuff with you, and I'm looking forward to doing life with you in the coming days, weeks, years, whatever. Much amazing love. Go forth and prosper. This recording will be sent to you later on today. And if you decided that you're a night owl, then today's your day one. Begin immediately as soon as you get the recording, or do it first thing in the morning. Set that timer. Let's start as we mean to go on. Remember to go in and introduce yourself in the group. I want to know who you are. Much amazing love. Go forth and prosper. It's your time. Bye.